All right, welcome back. Now let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is we need to write an equation of a line. Now we're going to get these into slope-intercept form, which we're familiar with, y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. All right, m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. Let's get started with this. So we know that the slope of this equation, or the slope of this line, is 6, and it goes through the point 0,4. Well, if we know a point and a slope, we should use point-slope form. Point-slope form is pretty easy to use. Once you remember how to set it up, it's y minus y equals m times x minus x. And everywhere I put one of these blue letters, we're going to need to substitute a number in. Right, now the easiest one is m. M is the slope. M always means slope. And in this problem we know the slope is 6. So let's erase the m and we'll just write a 6 in there. Now we've got the point 0,4. Well, we know that a coordinate is or an ordered pair is an x and a y. So that 0 is going to be our x. So we'll erase this and we'll put a 0 right there for the x. We know that y is the second number, the 4. So we're going to erase the y and we'll write a 4 right there. Okay, so far so good. Let's just distribute this right side. So we've got 6 times x is going to be 6x, and 6 times 0 is 0. All right, so fantastic, super easy. And on this left side, we still got y minus 4. Well, in order to solve this, all we have to do is add the 4 to the other side. So plus 4 over here, and we'll have y equals 6x plus 4. All right, no sweat, pretty easy. Look at this next part. The next part, we're going to write an equation again, but this time we're not given a slope. Instead, we're given 2 lines. So remember how to do this. We're just going to subtract y minus y over x minus x. X's connect on the bottom, y's connect on the top. So on the bottom, we're going to have 2 minus 5. And on the top, we're going to have negative 9 minus 9. Y minus y on the top, x minus x on the bottom. So on the top here, we've got negative 9 minus 9. That's going to be negative 18. 2 minus 5. That's going to be negative 3. And then let's simplify this. Negative 18 divided by negative 3, that's going to be a positive 6. That's going to be our slope. So once again, point slope form, y minus y equals m times x minus x. And wherever there's a blue letter here, we're going to have to substitute a number in. Well, we already found that the slope was 6 over here. That's what we found right there. So let's erase the m and let's write in a 6. Now, we need an x and a y. So this can be a tricky part for some students. They try to mix and match things, but let's go back up and look. We've got 2 points up here. You need to choose one of those 2 points, all right? Choose one. Doesn't matter. Whichever one you think is going to be easier, let's use that, but it has to be either that first point or the second point. We can't mix and match. To me, I like positive numbers, so I'm going to go with the second point, and I'm going to cross off the first one just so I don't get confused when I sub these in. Okay, the point's 5, 9, so that first number's our x, so I'm going to erase the x, and I'm going to write in the 5, coming from right there. And the 9 is the y. So I'm going to erase the y over here and write in a 9. Now let's solve this just like we did the first one. This is an equation in point-slope form, but I'd like to take it to slope-intercept. So let's distribute the right side. 6 times x is 6x, and 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. And that's what we've got on the left side. All we have to do is add the 9 over. Add the 9 to that. Y equals 6x, and negative 30 plus 9, that's going to be negative 21. All right, let's go to the next problem. Write the equation in standard form. So we've just kind of got a mess over here, and we want to get it in standard form. Now, standard form basically means that the x and y are both going to be together on the left side of this equation. So when we're doing that, we're going to have to move that x, I see, but I also see something else I don't like. In standard form, we don't want to have any fractions. So let's clear out those fractions. It's an equation, so we can do this. I need to multiply this whole thing, both sides, by a number that I can divide by 5 and I can also divide it by 3. So can you think of a number that divides by 5 and 3? If you're stuck, just multiply those two numbers together and see what you get. That's going to be your answer. 5 times 3 is 15. So let's multiply this whole thing, both sides, by 15. So 15 times y is just going to be 15y. 15 times negative x over 5. So remember, when you multiply a whole number or an integer by a fraction, you have to divide it by the bottom and then multiply by the top. So 15 divided by 5 is 3, times x is just going to be 3x. Okay, then the last one, 15 divided by 3 is 5, times 2 is going to be 10. So this is a positive 10. All right, so that's good. Now, no fractions. I like that. Now let's just get x and y on the same side. So in order to do that, I need to bring the x over here. Remember, cross the line, change the sign. Let's just add the 3x over here. So this is just going to be 3x. Up here, this was a positive 15y. And we've got equals to, well, looks like that's just equal to 10. 3x plus 15y equals 10. X and y are on the same side. No fractions. Also something to support, make x positive. All right, and it is in this case. So we're good to go. Standard form. All right, let's look at this one. This is a tricky problem that I rather enjoy, and I think you're going to enjoy it by the end also. So we've got an equation of a line in point-slope form. That line is y minus 5 equals 6 times x plus 2. And it says it contains the point 7a. And I want to solve that for a. And golly, I'm not sure where to start this problem. Okay, so let's just start with what we know for sure. That ordered pair is an x and a y. What if we just sub those into the equation that we're given? So x, and I'll put it in blue just so it's a little bit easier to see our substitutions. Whoops, that wasn't what I wanted to erase. Sorry, force of habit. That x, that's 7, right? X is the same thing as 7. So in this equation down here, I'm going to write the 7, okay? And the y is the same thing as a. So let's erase this y and sub in an a. So coming back here, all we've done is sub in the 7 for the x and the a for the y. Okay, so that's all we've done. Well, let's see this. This doesn't look too bad to solve for a. We could do a couple different things here, but what I'd say, let's just do order of operations on the right side. Parentheses first, 7 plus 2 is 9, and 6 times 9 is 54. So we have a minus 5 equals 54. One last step, let's just add the 5 over. Plus 5, so a equals 59. Could that problem really have been that easy? Let's go back and see how we did it again. So we have an equation of a line. We're also given another piece of information. The piece of information we were given is that 7 is equal to x. X is equal to 7. So all we did was sub that 7 in for the x. And we also knew that the a was y. Sub the a in for the y. And once we did that, let's see if I can erase this right here. We were right there, that top line. That's what our equation looked like. A little bit of order of operations and one step equation later, and we were done. A equals 59. I like that problem. All right. Now, hodgepodge, stuff you need to know about lines. All right. First, this is going to go really, really fast. You may need to watch this a couple times just so that you see. Find the intercepts. Okay, I want to know x-intercept and y-intercept of that line. Okay, so first of all, let's find the x-intercept. The x-intercept means that y is 0. Well, if y is 0, 4 times 0 is just going to be 0. So if I want to find the x-intercept, all I have to do is solve for x. So 3x equals 12. Divide the 3 over, and we're going to see x equals 4, right? Just a one-step equation. So the x-intercept is equal to 4. All right, what about the y-intercept? Well, the y-intercept, the x is 0, so we just have to solve this. So in order to solve this, negative 4 times y, let's just divide the negative 4 to the other side. And we would see that the y is equal to, or the y-intercept, 12 divided by negative 4 is going to be negative 3. Okay? That's one way that we could write the answer. Another way, x-intercept, the x was 4, and we knew that the y had to be 0. Y-intercept, that's the x is 0, and in this case, the y was negative 3. So two different ways you could write it. It doesn't really matter to me. Just understand how it is that you find that. All right? Next part, write the equation of a line parallel to y equals 2x minus 3. I'll stick this over here just so it's easier to see. Through the point 1, 5. Okay, parallel lines look like train tracks, right? They never cross. And so if you think about what the parallel line looks like, parallel lines always have the same slope. Okay, so let's look at this equation. The slope in this equation, the number in front of x, is 2. So what I know is our slope for our new line has to be the same since it's parallel, and it's got to go through that point. Well, now we're right back to where we were at the beginning of this lesson. Y minus y equals m times x minus x. And we know that the slope is 2 because it's the same as that other line since they're parallel. Our x is 1 and our y is 5. Okay, distribute 2x minus 2. And then add the 5 over. And we'll see that this is going to be y equals 2x plus 3. That's the equation of the line that's parallel to 2x minus 3 and goes through the point 1, 5. Okay, let's look at the next one. Write the equation of the line perpendicular to that through the point 6, 1. Now, perpendicular lines look like an X or a cross or a plus, all right? They are at 90-degree angles. Okay, that's what perpendicular means, 90-degree angles. And the slope is going to be the opposite reciprocal. Okay, the opposite reciprocal. So the slope of the line we're given is 2/3. So to be perpendicular, we need to flip it. So 2/3 is going to become 3/2. And we need to change the sign. So that was a positive 2/3. Our new slope is negative 3/2. So a line with a slope of a whoops, I'm sorry, I'm backwards in this camera. Positive 2/3 and a negative 3/2 is going to be perpendicular. You're going to make a perfect X. All right, so that's our slope. Here's our point. Y minus y equals m times x minus x. Slope, we found it. Perpendicular is negative 3/2. That's our slope right there. Through the point 6, 1, that means 6 is our x and 1 is our y. Okay, so let's distribute this. Negative 3/2 times x is negative 3/2 x. Negative 3/2 times negative 6, that's going to be a positive. Okay, so 6 divided by 2 is 3 times 3, divide by the bottom, multiply by the top. 6 divided by 2 is 3, times 3 is 9. And on the left side, we have y minus 1. One more step, add the 1 over, plus 1. Y equals negative 3/2 x plus 10. All right? That's it. That's all there is to it. Now, like I said, I know we covered a lot of stuff here and I went really fast. So if you need to, go back and watch all or some of this again so that you can make sure you got it and you know how to do it. All right. Good luck.